Now, we begin in Gabon, where voters will head to the polls on Saturday for the country's first presidential election since the military coup in 2023. The interim president, General Brice Oligui Nguema, led the coup that toppled President Ali Bongo Ondimba, who many Gabonese accused of irresponsible governance, and ended more than half a century of Bongo dynasty rule. Many observers say the elections will test whether the country is on a firm democratic footing or whether it will be business as usual with military men in control, but under the guise of democratic choice. Well, these pictures show Gabon's transitional president and junta chief, General Brice Nguema, holding his final rally in the capital, Libreville, ahead of the presidential election tomorrow. Critics claim the playing field is uneven, with concerns over transparency and military influence looming large. Oligui Nguema's main challenger, Bongo's former Prime Minister, Alain-Claude Bilibinze, has already warned that the election will not be fair or transparent, an allegation the government denies. Paul Njie reports.
Along the streets of the capital, it's evident who is in control here. Brice Oligui Nguema, the head of the transitional government and favorite candidate. He is also the coup leader who toppled former President Ali Bongo from power nearly 2 years ago. Nguema consolidated his hold on power when he announced his candidacy for Saturday's vote, despite his promise to hand back power to civilians following the coup d'etat.
De préserver les acquis de la démocratie.
But most people here call it a liberation coup that ended 56 years of a repressive dynasty by the Bongo family, which they could no longer tolerate.
Lorsque nous avons réalisé que c'était vrai,
when we realized that the coup d'etat was real and that the regime in place had been toppled, we were relieved. We were happy and hopeful that a new page was finally being opened for our country, the phase towards democracy and seeing our country being governed by new figures, other than those we knew for many years.
Un pays dirigé par des figures autres que ceux que nous avons connus depuis plusieurs années.
But for some skeptical voters, nothing has really changed, and the so-called new figures running in the election are not entirely new.
My view of the election is that we're merely seeing the same thing as during the previous regime. It really is monotonous. The same things we experienced in the past are the things we are seeing today. It seems like a mere change of names with the same characters playing.
Un changement de nom, ce sont les mêmes personnages qui jouaient.
Gabon is called the Kuwait of Africa, mainly for its rich oil reserves and small population of about 2.5 million people. But for several decades, corruption, bad governance, and embezzlement have soiled the socio-economic fabric of the nation. For many, these presidential elections are expected to rid the country of these issues and to start a fresh chapter.
The 8 candidates vying for Gabon's presidency present themselves as indispensable to the country's future. But how authentic will the transition to constitutional order be without real change?
Les élites actuelles du Gabon.
Gabon's current elites, whether in the opposition or in the majority, have all at one point belonged to the Gabonese Democratic Party. From this perspective, there will be no renewal of the elites at the top of the state given this past. Therefore, there will truly be a change at the top of the state if, and only if, the methods of governance change following the presidential election on April the 12th.
À l'issue de la présidentielle du 12 avril 2025.
The short but dynamic campaign revealed how eager the population was to participate in a democratic change. But the real burden for whoever wins will lie in keeping that fragile trust intact. Paul Njie, BBC News, Libreville.
And to unpack what's at stake and what this vote could mean for Gabon's political future, I spoke with